Hello, my creative friends. Welcome to my channel again today. It's Melinda with you, and today I am sharing my first share for December for Cut to You. Now, if you haven't seen, Gwen has got 12 days of Christmas giveaways. I am working with day 3 cut file, which is Candy Circles, which in the end, I love my project. I'm so happy with it, but I tried a couple of different things first and they didn't work. This is my finished page. I do have a bit of a tutorial here for you. I don't end up using the file that I cut with this, but I will quickly walk you through it. So I've opened the file in my Silhouette software. I have traced it. Here I've just copied it exactly the same. Now I'm going to zoom in. Then I'm going to right click. No, so the compound path has been, release compound path has been released. So I've got all of those little bits on the inside, and then I've got the outside line. I'm deleting all of the inside pieces. I thought to start with I was going to cut this twice and layer it, but as I just said, I don't do that. The reason I've done it this way is because I wanted all of those inside pieces to still be there. Does that make sense? Where the circles join each other. And if I had just released the compound path and kept the outline, I wouldn't have had those separations in the middle. If that doesn't make any sense, please leave me a comment and I will try to explain better. But that the other thing I showed you there was making sure that when you resize it, you select both files so that they are resized to exactly the same size, so that they can layer on top of each other if that's what you're wanting to do. What I've got here is some basil marshmallow cardstock. I've done nothing to this background because I did want the painty, the flicky end lines. Does that even make sense? And so I have made sure that I haven't gessoed this cardstock, and I am using shimmers in Buddy's favorite color. This is my favorite Christmas red that I have been able to find, and I spilt half of it on the plane in my bag when I went to Queensland. So you can imagine I was not particularly happy. What I've done is I've just done like a big rectangle square kind of pretend shape in the middle of this cardstock. I'm going back in with some splatters. I'm going to start with the same red. Just put a tiny bit onto my mat here, and I've watered it down a little bit just so that I can get those splatters, just adding a ton of those. And something unusual for me, I don't normally scrap red and green for Christmas because I don't have to, right? So I am going to dry this off completely, and then I'm using a different shimmers in green here. The colour of this one is Pining for You, and so I've just added a bit of water to that and splattered that on the background. Because I'm adding green over the top of red, I did need to make sure that red was completely dry before I added that green over the top, otherwise I would have got mud. And of course, you can't have, well, I can't have a Christmas page without some shiny gold. See that? A stupid paintbrush broke, but it still works. I'm going to get my husband to glue it back together. So you can see I'm just adding splatters of gold. All of the mixed media that I've used so far is from Shimmers. You can see that I really love how that looks, making sure I've got enough coverage, making sure my cut file fits how I want it. And then I realized that there's a white gap here. So I'm going back in with the Buddy's favorite color. I'm not going to bother splattering over it because I know that it's mostly going to be covered. And then I dried that off. You can see I'm working here. I've cut my cardstock down and I have gutted the center of that black and white paper. It's called Mistletoe, I think. I'm using the Photo Play Kringle & Co collection. I love it. I love it. Tamara, Gwen and I went to Craft Online when I was over there in Queensland. Tamara spied this and I fell in love, and I put it back and then I went back and picked it up again. So I've added a white border of cardstock to my photo, and then I did some machine stitching in black thread around my photo and also around my white cardstock. And then I've popped my photo up on foam. I've added some of the center of that black paper as a layer behind and some tissue paper, and I really like how this looks. This is last year's Christmas photo of my children with Santa. They are getting so big so quick. I'm going to insist as they get bigger that they have to get a photo every year. I'll see how that works for me, right? So yeah, we got thumbs up all around. It was really cute. I really loved it. This is the official photo from last year, and I have already scrapped one from last year, but it was a photo that I took sneaky by myself, and it was for a Craft Plus challenge earlier this year, but this is the official Santa photo from last year. I have fussy cut this little, these gnomes in this collection are adorable. So it's a Santa gnome, and it says Jelly Old Saint Nick on his beard. I'm like, that is perfect for my title, so I'm gonna that was on the cut apart sheet, so I've cut that out, and it is going to end up where it is right now. I'm not sure where I've gone, so I'm just trialing different pieces in here. If that arrow was going the other way, I may have used it, but you'll see in a sec. I do take it off. I do use that gift that I've got that I had there before. I do trim off the white border. Just felt that there was enough white down there and I didn't need extra. Do try this, I think it says Center Baby Circle. That does make a different layout. Alright, committing, sticking things down. This Santa is so cute. I've used one of the sheets of paper with little tiny Santas all over it for a different page. I love it. You would have seen it actually a couple of days ago. That one's going to go live before this one. That was for my Scrap the Boys December challenge. So I'm going to start sticking here. At this point, I think this is when I realized that there's little tiny love hearts on that paper. So I had to make sure I had that the right way up. And I'm just slowly sticking that down, making sure it's all stuck, and then flipping it over and smushing it down. Again, at retreat, there were so many charms creations on so many pages, and it got me going, I've got to do something with my stash. I love them and I keep forgetting about them. They actually live right on my desk anyway, so I don't know, maybe I just don't look there. But I get 2 on this page and I'm super excited. I felt that my cut file was getting a bit lost in the background, so I'm like, what can I do? You saw me tapping my fingers. And what I've got is my Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors. I'm sorry if I butchered that, and you know I butchered that. But that's the best I can do. There's like a shimmery white, it's kind of silver, but it's more white than anything. And you can see I'm just using my paintbrush, I'm wetting the cut file with my spray bottle and just adding the shiny white over the top. And I really love what this brings to the page. It is not super obvious. It was really hard to photograph, so I'm not sure if you're going to get it. I do have some close-ups in the video where I tilt it in the light for you. I did go over that whole thing. I spritzed it really quickly with some water and then splattered over the top so that I got some difference in the colour, not much. And again, it's not all that obvious. And then I thought, okay, I've got to add some more of this to the background so it all ties together nicely. I'm like, yes, I love that. Love it. Then I think from here, I add black splatters. No, I'm trying all my bits again. So where the arrow was is essentially where it is going to end up. Where the heart is where it's going to end up. I love them. I love the pop of black and white on the top of the page. So here is the close-up. You can kind of see the shimmer in that. It's so pretty. It was exactly what this page needed, I felt. And then my background as well. Love how this came together in the end. Yes, so black splatters, because I've got the black right on the background, like the very bottom layer, and then I've got black right on top of the photo. I was like, I need something in between, so I added some black splatters to my background. And then I'm going to stick down my cut file. I did toy with the idea of popping it up on foam, but you can see I've just added glue straight to the center of 4 of those circles, I think. And I'm going to go all the way around the edge of the cut, all the way around the cut file, and just add a tiny dot of glue behind each of the center of the circles. And that just means, especially because I used the watercolor paint and because I've heat set it, the cut file's got some wave to it. So because I'm only gluing it in the center, I can not bend up, but lift up the edges, and it gives it some shadows and dimension, and I just really like the way that looks. So I mentioned that I had the black on the very back layer, then I've added some to my mixed media, and then I was like, I want something else here. What am I going to add? So I grabbed my black thread. You can see, spoiler alert, you can see that I am struggling with it. I continue to struggle with it, and then I continue to struggle with it, and then I eventually give up. If you would have seen the finished product, and I have not used the black thread. But I'm just going to start layering all my bits up here, still playing with that thread. I have sped this up quite a bit. I had heaps and heaps of footage. I did try something else to start with, and I recorded it. My video started at 2 hours and 40 minutes, but once I deleted that, it dropped down really quickly. So yeah, I'm just layering all my bits, and because you've already essentially seen the whole layout, I have sped this up really quick. If you do have any questions, please make sure you leave them below. But yeah, I'm zipping through this. Again with the thread, seriously, again with the thread. Give it up already. Right. So in the meantime, I'm going to start sticking all my pieces down. Just adding some foam where I need to so that I've got the balance. I did want to make sure that I could move this whole photo cluster as one piece though. Now I got these shiny gold stars. They have chunky glitter on them. I love them, from KKK, I think last year. I've got my December daily box. You cannot see it on the screen, but it's just to the left of my mat there. It's all ready to go for this year's DD. And I forgot to add those gold stars in, but now I have. I felt like I needed to add something else, and so I grabbed these puffy green stars. I think these are from Bella Boulevard. I think I got those from Anna's Craft Cupboard. Because I got, again, the green in the background, there was no green anywhere else. I don't normally scrapbook in traditional red and green colours for Christmas. It's just not my jam. But I felt that the little pop of green really brought all this together. And I really love how it looks. So I am being fussy with my placement. No, it doesn't look quite right there. I've got to move it 1 millimeter that way. Tell me I'm not, I know I'm not the only one. I don't need that reassurance. And even if I am the only one, that's okay. I'm okay with that. So this is essentially how my layout is going to end up. I'm going back through and sticking everything down with my Scotch tacky. I do not want anything falling off. Yeah, I had some stuff fall off layouts recently, and I was like, ah, you idiot, you didn't stick it down with glue. So even the stuff that is already sticky, I'm not sure if you saw it, but I actually got my stapler in between those layers up the top to staple that heart to the photo layers. I find that that's probably normally the easiest way for me to get these charms to stick. If you have a fail-safe way of getting the charms creations to stick, let me know what it is. I've tried hot glue, I've tried wet glue, I've tried tape. I staple it if I can. Otherwise, what do you do? Okay, so I'm sticking all of that down. I did flip over that the photo with all the bits attached, and I added a couple of layers of foam where it wasn't sitting flat. Here I go with the thread again. I am persistent, if nothing else. And I think I pretty quickly go, you know what? Give it up, Mel. Just give it up. You can see me fussing around with it. I have only added at this point glue to behind my photo. Going in again. And then I'm like, no, I'm done. So I left it like that, walked away for a minute, and then I came back. I'm like, okay, how else can I add black? So I've got my black India ink again, a paintbrush, and I'm adding just a few little black splatters to those two clusters, and I feel like that just finishes the page and brings it all beautifully together. I do grab a cotton tip and clean off where it's landed on the puffy stars. Here is a close-up. You can see some of that shimmer on that white cut file. So yes, this is day 3 for Cut to You of digital cut files. If you want the freebie, make sure you head over to the store and use the promo code in the blog post. All of the information is in the blog post. Follow the link from the description box below. 9 more days to go. I've seen all the files. They are super cute. Love them all. I have another one coming up in a few days as well. I hope you've enjoyed my share. It's a bit all over the shop, but like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave them below. I'm super excited. It's December. What are your December daily plans? I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video.